Hello students, welcome to Oya Learn. In Oya Learn, we post educative content that will help you get better in your studies as a student. Now this is English class. In this class, we will be learning the features of informal letter. Please do well to check all the videos where we've learned the meaning of letter writing and also the types of letter, so that you can have a proper understanding of what we're about to learn. Now, like I said earlier, in this class we will be learning the features of informal letter. So letters that you write to your parents or your friends or somebody very close to you is an informal letter. So an informal letter is not official like a formal letter. Now we will be learning the features of informal letter. That is the part of an informal letter, or the part that makes up an informal letter. Now the first feature of informal letter is the writer's address. The writer's address. Now, one thing you should know is that one thing about letter writing is that there must be a sender and a receiver. So it's between two persons, a sender and a receiver. So the first feature is the writer's address. So the writer is otherwise known as the sender. So after writing, the writer transports his letter to the receiver. So the writer is a sender and the person who reads the letter is the receiver. All right. Now, when you're writing an informal letter, you would start with your address. That is, if you are the writer, you start with your home address. So that is, and it is called the writer's address. This is the home address of the sender. It shows where the letter is coming from. So it is the home address of the sender and it shows where the letter is coming from. So take for instance, you receive a letter from a very old friend of yours, and at the moment you open the letter, you get to see the address of your friend, and probably if you want to visit that friend, you can use that address to visit the friend. Or if you want to write back to the old friend, you can use that same address to send your letter back to the sender. All right. Now, this is an example of the writer's address. Now, the writer's address comprises of, the first part is, you first of all write down the number of your home and then the street of your home. The number and the street of your home. Then the second part of the writer's address, where is that street located? In what area is that street located? Or in what estate is that street located? Then moving on, you tell us where the estate or the area is also located. Probably the town or the city that the area or the estate is located. And then moving on, you write down the state. Where is this estate or where is this town or the city located? So that brings us to the end of the writer's address. Now let's repeat again. So the first part, we have the number and the street. Then the second part, we have the area or the estate where the street is located. Then the next part, we have the town or city that the estate is located. And then the last part is in what state is that estate or the town located. So that is the end of the address. And when you're writing them down, make sure there is a comma. Now, when do your comma stop? Your comma stop at the state. When it's time for you to write down the state, you put a full stop, because that brings you to the end of your address. So make sure there is a full stop after writing the state. But before you write down the state, when you're writing down the street, the area or estate, and the town or city where you're located, make sure it ends with a comma. Make sure it now you can see mine. There is a comma here, a comma here, a comma here. And when you get to Lagos State, we have the full stop. Now my address says 12 Allison Street, Grace Villa Estate, Victoria Island, Lagos State, full stop. That is the end of the address. Now, if you're sending this to probably someone outside the country, then you can add your country. Probably if you're in Nigeria, in London, wherever you are, you can add it to your address. And lastly, we have the dates. The date shows us when the letter was written. When the letter was written. So our date here says 14th October 2025. All right. Now this is an example of the writer's address. Now let's move on to the second features of informal letter. We have the greetings, salutation. Now please do not forget that the writer's address is written at the right hand side, the top right hand side of the piece of paper or whatever instrument you want to use to write down your letter. The writer's address is written at the top hand side, the top right hand side of your piece of paper, the top right hand side of your piece of paper. Now the next feature is the greetings or salutation. This is when the sender greets the receiver of the letter, a very short greeting. Now because it's an informal letter, you are free to use whatever kind of greeting you want to use for your friend or whoever you are writing the letter to, because it's a personal letter. You know the person. So you can either use dear dad, my dear friend, dearest Auntie Rose, hi Joy. So these are words that you can use as your greeting. Now this is written below your address at the left hand side. It is written below your address at the left hand side. All right. Now the next features of informal letter is introduction. This is your first paragraph and is otherwise known as your opening paragraph. So it opens the letter. So it is otherwise known as your opening paragraph, called introduction. So the sender, in the introductory paragraph, the sender greets the person, that is the receiver, warmly and asks about their well-being. It's just like you have something to say, but first of all, being very respectful and reasonable, the first thing you should do is you ask about the person, ask about his well-being. Are you fine? Hope you're good. What if you're about to tell the person something and the person is not feeling too well and all of that? So you asking this question shows that you care about who you're sending the letter to or who you're speaking to. So the introductory paragraph is where the sender greets the receiver or the person or the friend warmly and asks about their well-being. Now, example of an introductory paragraph, we have, how are you doing? I hope you are fine. It's been a long time since we last saw each other. So this is a very good introductory paragraph that you can use and also formulate yours. The major thing is that it shows that you care about the person before you start telling the person what you wish to share. Now let's move on to the next features of informal letter. All right, now the next features of informal letter is the body of the letter. So after you've written your introduction, which is the opening paragraph, you create another paragraph which would be the body paragraph. Now what do you write there? The main message of your letter. That is what is written there. What you want to pass across, or what you want to, or you wish to talk about or share to your close friend or anybody related to you that you know personally. That is what you write in the body of the letter. Now, the body of the letter could be 2 to 3 paragraphs depending on the amount of information you wish to share. Now let's move on to conclusion, which is the next features of informal letter. So after you've shared all the information, you move on to the closing paragraph. That is, you create another paragraph called the closing paragraph, otherwise known as conclusion. Now here the sender expressed love and said his or her greetings. An example of this we have: give my love to everyone at home. I hope to hear from you soon. So you can use this, or if probably you want to send greetings to the person's parents, you can as well do that in the concluding paragraph. Now lastly, we have the last features of informal letter. We have the closing or subscription. So this part ends the letter. This part ends the letter and it is written below the concluding paragraph by the right hand side on your piece of paper, at the right hand side below the concluding paragraph. So you can end with the word yours sincerely and make sure the S is written in small letter. Yours sincerely. And then under yours sincerely, you do not sign because it's an informal letter, so your signature would be your name. So after writing yours sincerely or yours lovingly, then you end it with your name, just your first name. So if you look at this, I wrote yours sincerely, Joy. So these are the features of informal letter. I assure you that if you listen and watch and learn this and watch this video again, you will be very good in writing an informal letter. Please do well to take a practice, assess yourself, write your informal letter probably to your friend or to your parent or your grandparent or anybody close to you. If you have any question, please do well to drop it in the comment section. I would love to see your response to this class. And if you know this class has helped you, please do well to give it a thumb up.